Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Marvelous Rambles starring Celeste. This is the first edition of this. This is basically a video where I pick a game that I've been playing and I talk about it. I ramble, it's unscripted. And I wanted to talk about Celeste because this is potentially my Game of the Year candidate right now. I know that's hard to say, you know, it's already June, gonna be July soon, so next thing you know, it's gonna be Christmas, November, whatever, backwards holidays, and we're gonna be thinking about it. And I wanted to talk about this game for the longest time, and I wanted to do it in a format that could possibly reach a lot of people. And unfortunately I'm not on the charts of Gamecast because of work reasons, so I figured let me do this in my spare time. So Celeste is based. So let's get down to why I like this game. Celeste is about this girl Madeline, although you can rename her. I assume Madeline, the main character, is meant to be androgynous because you can name it whatever, and her design, the design of the character doesn't really speak to male or female. At least to me, it doesn't. It could be anything. It could be a boy. It could be a girl. It could be whatever gender or non-gender you want it to be. Is about. I'm gonna call her Madeline just because that's what her I guess canon name would be. About her climbing this mountain, and it's at the basis of it. It seems like a very simple plot, but as you play, and even from this first, loading screen, you notice that Madeline may be a little bit. There may be more to Madeline than what you picture. And she's clearly hiding something, and she must be doing this for a reason. Why is she doing this? And as you further along, you discover that this is a game about perseverance, about overcoming your demons and dealing with, certain demons we tackle, and the main ones being anxiety and depression. A lot of people I know, sadly, are riddled with that because of today's society or just how they were brought up. It's not something negative, it's just something that we live through, and it makes us more human. And in most instances when it comes to stuff like that, I feel like other mediums tend to be very heavy-handed or uninformative when it comes to what it actually means to have anxiety or to deal with depression. Versus Celeste, I feel like, deals with it in a way that is truthful and very heartfelt and very other people who may not suffer from these anxiety or depression will understand it, like where it's coming from, or they may not. It's hard to explaining anxiety to a person who doesn't experience anxiety is very difficult, including depression. Why can't you just stop being sad? It's not that simple. So I'm basically going to be showing off sort of like the first level and a half, because I don't want to really spoil this for you, because I believe this is a game, even though the story is very simple, there's a lot of moments in here that I feel like as a player you should experience yourself. So, I won't be spoiling anything basically if you're curious. So, that's enough of story though. Let's get into graphic wise. As you can see, this gameplay is clearly emulating the current retro era, revitalized retro era that we're living in, which is the 8-bit, 16-bit era, clearly going for a more 8-bit style, and I love it. It's so beautiful. Even though the character design herself is very simplistic, the amount of detail that goes around in the backgrounds, like you can see like the sort of forsaken, like the trees in the background and the falling apart city in the background, not to mention the foreground has this wonderful uses of color. Everything sort of, even though it's nothing really bright, it's kind of dull. Everything kind of pops. Everything kind of has a dull pop, if that makes sense. I don't know if it does, but to me it does. You always know where you're at. You're never lost, even though every kind of room has the same sort of setting. I always feel like I know where I'm at the same time, and that's especially helpful as you get into later levels when they're bigger and there's no map feature in this game. So it takes this, and this is what I love about it. It takes the style, homages the 8-bit era, but modernizes it in a lot similar way to like what Shovel Knight has done, what even the most recently released Bloodstained Circle of Moon has done, and a whole bunch of other retro games that I'm overlooking, and I apologize. Take the aesthetic, but tweak it. Because there's nothing wrong with the aesthetic, but limitations to the hard work, you can only do so much. I can look at this game all day, and I wish I could actually show off some of the future levels, because that's when the colors get crazy, the design, the backgrounds get super intense. But I think you should experience those by yourself. Versus this is just your basic level. Another thing I want to talk about is the sort of accessibility of this game. So first off, you see those strawberries that I've either passed or I've collected. You don't have to get those. I know that may trigger some people's completion aspects, and you can totally do that if you want. But what I really like about this game is that there's an option for everything. Collectibles are option, and even better is that there's a thing called assist mode. Now, Celeste is meant to be a challenging game. It's meant to challenge your platforming skills so you can be on the same journey as Madeline. The challenge to climb to the summit. You're doing this with her, but let's just say you're either a disabled or you're not as good as a platformer that the game requires you to be, but you still want to enjoy the story of the game. There's an assist mode that you could turn on that gives you either I think super infinite dashing, infinite climbing. There's a whole bunch of things you can do, and then also if you've beaten the game already, you want to go back. You may not want to deal with some of the more harder stuff, so you just turn that stuff on. And I love that. I love that it's a choice. It's not forced upon you, you know? And I love that the game developer goes out of their way to say, if you need to do it, go ahead. It's fine. It's your game. Do whatever you want. But if you don't, the challenge is there for you. It somehow manages to cater to both a casual audience and a gamer audience who wants that ultimate challenge. And I love that. That is extremely difficult to do. Super difficult. And I admire them for going that route. They didn't have to include an assist mode. Super Meat Boy doesn't include an assist mode. That game is super hard. There's a bunch of other games that live and die by the difficulty, and they don't do that. So, shout outs to Celeste for doing that. And which goes on to sort of the gameplay element, in that Celeste is a very simple game, mechanically at least. In that, as you've seen, you can jump, you can dash, you can climb, you can wall jump. That's about it. The game does not really give you more mechanics to work with as you go along. So the challenge comes from is, how do you use those abilities in different sort of obstacles, whether it's wind, whether it's a bouncy pad, whether it's spikes, or any other kind of nuances that I want to say, because it ruins certain gimmicks, and you should experience those firsthand again. It finds new ways to challenge the player in different ways, so you're never bored. You're always seeking that thought. While some challenges may repeat, they add enough of nuance to said challenges that it feels new, and there's that thrilling, exciting. So you'll YOLO it up, as he did, and that's what I love about it. It manages to keep innovating with the gameplay. In other words, Celeste is simplistic yet profoundly deep, and that's the best kind of video game. Like, it reminds me like Bayonetta 2, where on a surface level you can just start pressing buttons and do cool stuff, but the deeper combat system is there for you. Same thing with Celeste. You can just go through the basic sort of functions of it, but going the extra mile of going after these secrets and dealing with these challenges in unique ways will reward you, either of your own personal satisfaction or with a strawberry, you know, whichever is your preferences, if you happen to like physical trophies. And the game just gets crazier. It just doesn't stop. It gets really, really intense at certain points. Again, I could say more, but it goes into spoiler territory. And also, you're gonna die. You're gonna die a lot. And in most instances, that's gonna be a killer for a lot of people. But the thing what makes Celeste so great, again, about the accessibility aspect, is that their dying has no consequence. You may have to redo a section if you've gotten a long way. You may have to redo a section again, but you know, there's no lives. You don't lose strawberries. You don't lose rings or coins. You don't lose any of that. The game purposely puts you at a point like that and makes you want to play through it again and again and again. it never in a point in this game did I say, okay, this is bullshit, I'm done. If I died, every single time I died, I always knew that was my fault. It was never the game's fault that I died. Unlike certain games from like the 80s where it's like, the game clearly screwed you over, or if you're playing Super Turbo Arcade mode, and the AI just wants to read your inputs. I never felt like that in this game. I never felt like that at all. And I love that for it. That's the best kind of game, when it's your fault, not the game's fault, and they crafted it so perfectly. So when you do overcome a challenge that is giving you a hard time, that satisfaction of, I fucking did it, yes. That ultimate satisfaction. So, in another aspect of what makes Celeste great is its music. This music is some of the best use of chiptune, retro, that I've seen in quite some time. And it's so... And I love how it can be video gamey, like very arcadey at some points, but at other points it can be very somber. Like at the title screen, it's a very somber title screen. Well, maybe not necessarily somber, ominous, because you're about to climb this freaking mountain. Other times it can be like at the beginning where it's kind of upbeat because you're starting the journey. Other times it can be downright terrifying and haunting. I loved how they used the music to set the tone of the stage. Not just the stage's aesthetics, but the music does a great job of setting the mood, as good music will do. I'm gonna buy. I have the album on Amazon. I bought it because I needed to. Not since Nier Not Automata have I become infatuated with a video game soundtrack as much as I have with Celeste. It definitely helps a lot when you're dying a lot, and you just, well, at least I get to hear that very, very good song again. You know, it kind of serves as a pseudo motivator, and I kind of like that. In short, like, you know, having said what I said, Celeste to me is almost a perfect game. And I know some of you maybe think I'm crazy, because, you know, you don't just throw around the word perfect for nothing, but Celeste has amazing game. To me, a perfect game is a game you don't want to stop playing. And it has a lot, and there's a lot, and not just from the gameplay, but there's other elements to it that make it a perfect game. Celeste, from a gameplay standpoint, doesn't make me stop playing. Its level design is amazing. Its music is superb. Like, even after I've beaten this game and before I recorded this footage, I couldn't stop playing. The only thing that made me stop playing was playing Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle or Fortnite. But I just couldn't stop playing. It's such an enjoyable experience. And, you know, for only $20, you could do a lot worse with your $20. Shit, you can buy Mighty Number 9 and deal with that painful experience, or you can spend $20 and have this experience that you're probably never going to forget and may cause you to have emotional night terrors. Who knows? I don't know. I didn't have emotional night terrors. Maybe I did. I'm just bluffing. Who knows? But at the end of the day, this is so. I mean, granted, again, like I said earlier, I didn't play God of War. I haven't really touched a lot of games this year, but of the games I've played, this is easily going on that short list of, okay, this is a game to put on my list for Game of the Year 2018. And I really hope, and while I don't necessarily care for artificial awards, what I do care for is that other people will play it. I know Celeste was heavily promoted when it first came out, but that doesn't mean anything. And unfortunately, because it came out early in the year, it may get overlooked as the year goes on. So as the year goes on, especially when you get into September, October, and I really hope that doesn't have the case. I want it to be. For a pure selfish reason, I want this game to be showcased along Red Dead Redemption. I want this game to be showcased along Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I think. Yeah, because I know that's going to get critically acclaimed too. It probably will. I think so. Maybe. Who knows? I want it to be acclaimed. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. Let me know what you think of Celeste. Let me know if you're going to buy this game because of this video, or have you played it? What are your experiences with it? This, if you want to see more of these, I will do more. I have plans to do more. These are just gonna be basic little videos that I want to do. As always, guys, this is the Marvelous Iggy. And no matter what, stay marvelous. Have a good night, everybody.